It's time for another episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas, the podcast covering the intersection of business, culture, entrepreneurship, and life in general here in the Ozarks. Whether you are considering a move to this area or trying to learn more about the place you call home, we've got something special for you. Without further ado, here's our fearless host, Randy Wilburn.
Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas. I'm your host, Randy Wilburn. I'm excited to be with you today as always. I'm even more excited because the individual that I have in front of me, we're doing this virtually. So for those of you that see the video, I think that's great, but you'll probably hear this as an audio podcast. It will be a bonus episode. I am sitting in front of my main man, Chris Seawood. Chris is part of the amazing leadership team at Theater Squared, but he also has another very important role, and I believe that is the vice president of the Northwest Arkansas MLK Council and treasurer. I'm sorry, I'm giving you titles you don't even have. So
give me that vice president.
I'm sorry, you don't want that mantle. So no, it's all good. And originally we were supposed to meet with both Chris and Lindsay Leverett, and she was not available. She got pulled into a meeting. So it's just going to be Chris and I today. And we wanted to just share some information with you about the Northwest Arkansas MLK Council as we come upon Martin Luther King's birthday, which will be celebrated this year, I believe, on the 15th of January, which will be a Monday. That is a national holiday. And this program that has taken place for several years through the NWA MLK Council, I had the privilege of being a part of last year. I really wasn't a part of it. I was just there. I was there at several of the events, and they had Dr. Cornell West, who I got to meet, and it was a phenomenal event. And to see all of those young people on stage at the Fayetteville Public Library talking about and receiving amazing scholarships for their continued educational advancement was really special. And so we wanted to bring both Lindsay and Chris on to talk about the event. And unfortunately, like I said, Lindsay could not make it. So Chris is going to share with us a little bit about this year's schedule, the program, everything that's taking place. There are a number of events throughout Northwest Arkansas that you want to avail yourselves of. This is really an information episode, a bonus episode. I'm going to put everything in some simple show notes so you guys know where to look, and also to direct you to the Northwest Arkansas MLK Council website for additional information. But Chris, how are you doing? I know that's a long preamble, but I wanted to put that out there, and thank you for meeting me on what was originally a snowy day, and now it's subsided. All the snow is off of at the day we're recording this is on Friday, the 5th of January, and so we had a little snowstorm this morning, but I think all is right now. So how are you doing?
I'm good, brother. Just busy.
Yes.
It's the most wonderful time of the year again. You know,
it is. All good. So tell us a little bit just give us a little background again on the NWA MLK Council. And I'll reference our episode from last year if people want to get into the genesis of the organization. But just give us a quick Cliff Note version of the NWA MLK Council.
Yeah. So quickly, we were formed in 1996, really under the original auspices and vision of the late Reverend J. Aaron Hawkins. We were really started as a para-ministry of the historic St. James Missionary Baptist Church, believe it or not. So he had for years gone and participated in MLK festivities in Fort Smith. And so he brought the vision back here to the local church and wanted to celebrate and honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King here in Northwest Arkansas. And so several members took that mantle up and formed what is now the NWA MLK Council. Originally, it was just a committee. It's formed as a small committee that would raise funds for book scholarships, a few $100s here and there. That eventually evolved into a banquet that we hosted annually at the Fayetteville Town Center to raise funds for the book scholarship, and has since evolved into what you now see as the NWA MLK Council, where we still have a huge emphasis on education and scholarship, where we're able to give untold thousands of dollars away every year to deserving high school seniors and college students, but also now able to add pillars and focuses that are the hallmark towards building Dr. King's beloved community in Northwest Arkansas.
And of course, in all of this, in terms of continuing the legacy of Dr. King, you put on some great programs throughout that weekend, which will be next weekend as of the time of recording this. And people will have plenty of time to digest this information and make plans to participate. But tell us a little bit about the weekend and what you are expecting to happen.
Yeah, so this weekend, again, we just continue to build and I think just get greater at what we do in terms of just, again, honoring Dr. King's legacy, his building of beloved community, but also what just makes that community, the beloved community, unique here in Northwest Arkansas. As you mentioned, last year was phenomenal, but we think this year it's going to be even greater. We're able to add an event, which typically has been just a Saturday, Sunday, Monday trio, but now we're going to be a 4-day event starting on a Friday. We've got now what we're calling the Beloved Community Festival. We're extremely excited to be able to host that event with our friends at Crystal Bridges Museum of America. They've been just phenomenal as we've been planning this really for about the last 5 or 6 months. This has come together. We've got Anthony Ball and his fantastic Music Moves organization that has partnered with us and really helped us bring some great entertainment together. But not only on top of that, we've got some great local food vendors that are going to be there because we're wanting to celebrate the rich cultural diaspora that exists in Northwest Arkansas. I know a lot of people wonder, living here in Northwest Arkansas, well, where are our minority communities? How do we engage with them? We're wanting to show that we are here and we exist. All these hues exist in Northwest Arkansas and they deserve to be celebrated, and we're going to do it together. But it's a place for everyone to come out and enjoy a festive occasion. Then that'll lead us into Saturday, where we have a community event where we're collecting winter supplies and even a few school supplies. We're partnered with Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. That'll be held at John L. Colbert Middle School. That's from 9 to noon. Then that'll lead us into Saturday evening, which is our culminating event. That's the Recommitments celebration, our 28th annual Recommitment celebration, where we recognize a lot of great community leaders with our Salute to Greatness Awards. We've got 5 very phenomenal awardees that we'll recognize this year. On top of that, we're just ecstatic that we're able to award 35 scholarship recipients this year. That'll be a record for us. They all will walk away with $1,000 scholarships to go to any university anywhere in the country that they choose to. We're glad we're able to help them continue in the advancement of their education. Have a host of entertainment at that event, but it also is highlighted by the just incomparable Nicole Hannah-Jones that'll be there for a fireside chat. And that's being modeled. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for the uninitiated, we are talking about the creator of the 1619 Project with the New York Times. Yeah. And she's also an esteemed professor at my alma mater, Howard University. I just had to put that out there. But that's
throw that in there.
I did have to throw that in there because a lot of people just don't know, but that's just how it is. But no, I'm just proud to claim her from that perspective. Yeah. I recognize that for some people, the 1619 Project was a challenge for them because, again, everybody doesn't like the truth. And the truth is sometimes staring us right in our faces. And I think that if nothing else, she certainly created some awareness that was much needed around the evolvement and evolution of African Americans here in the United States of America, dating back to 1619 when we first came over to this country and came here from a variety of different places. So I think it's highly appropriate that you would have somebody like her on the heels of having Dr. West last year and all of the information that he shared, certainly in terms of us figuring out a way to learn how to work together. And when I say we, everybody, all colors, all cues, and that's just how Dr. King was, right? So it's this idea that if I'm going to live next door to you, I need to know you. I need to have a relationship with you. Even if you don't look like me, we need to understand that when we sit down kneecap to kneecap and look at each other and gaze into each other's eyes, that we can see the humanness in each of us. And I think that's incredibly important. And more important than that is sometimes you need to be willing to hear and embrace things that are contrary to what you've been brought up on in terms of information and ideas. And it's good to learn. And those are the things that are missing in our educational system when it comes to healthy debate and our ability to be able to agree to disagree and still be brothers or sisters in arms. And I think we need more of that. And that's why I think the events that are going to take place next weekend through the Northwest Arkansas MLK Council are very important for anyone. I don't care what you look like or where you come from or what your background is or what your understanding of things are. It's a chance for you to get a better understanding of what this diaspora actually does mean. And we are endeavoring to experience that and to create space for people from all walks of life here in Northwest Arkansas. And if we really mean that, if we really want to do that, which is one of the missions of the Northwest Arkansas Council, which is one of the foundational tenets of the missions of the Walton Family Foundation as they focus on this area, which is one of the missions of the Heartland organization. There's just so much right here, and we have to focus on what's right in our own backyard. And those are people that look like me and look like you, but there are people that look like other folks and people that look like Sam Walton, and we all need to be able to come together and figure out what's going on. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you saying all that. And it really echoes the sentiment of the weekend and even our theme. Our theme is humanity in hues, and it's how we're going to embrace and how do we embrace this quote unquote beloved community, and understanding that there is more than one narrative that exists in Northwest Arkansas, in America in general. And those narratives deserve to be heard, to be seen, and we endeavor to allow those stories to be told. Even with, like you said, Nicole Hannah-Jones, who, yes, maybe in some circles may be considered a little bit controversial. But again, controversy notwithstanding, her perspective deserves to be heard and told because it is a perspective shared by millions upon millions of Americans in one form or fashion or another. It may ruffle some people's feathers, but it is still yet a perspective that deserves to be heard. Can be debated, yes, that's fine, but it's still just an honor to have someone of her caliber in this area that is willing to come in and speak with us and help share her perspective and a narrative and a truth that isn't often heard, particularly in light of the way society is going today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll certainly put a link in the show notes for the 1619 project that was on TV, which will give you another chance to have a better understanding of it. And as only Nicole Hannah-Jones can tell the story, she intersperses her experience growing up. She shares anecdotes from her family and ties it back to some of the experiences that have gone way back. And I don't know an African American that I know of that has some understanding of their roots and where they came from. We all share some of those stories, right? It's part of the tapestry of who we are. And it's funny, I was listening to a video the other night of my grandfather talking, and he was a very dear friend of both Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a frat brother of Dr. Martin Luther King because he was an alpha, and he just his whole understanding of everything that Dr. King was doing, he was on the right path. It was a timing issue more than anything else in this country. And my grandfather got to live a lot longer than Dr. King did, but I think, and I remember talking to him about what did he think Dr. King would say in this day and age if he saw it at the time that my grandfather was still alive, which he died in 95. And he said he would have liked the progress that he has seen, but he would have still wanted more, right? He would have been like, more, please. We do want more. And it's really just, it boils down to getting back to the conversation of our humanity, that it is unquestionable. And that it does not need to there is no debate around that. And I think the more that we understand and see where and understand where people come from and what they're all about, the better we can have a relationship with them. And I think that's what I remember my grandfather saying, that he thinks how Dr. King would feel. But yet we still have a ways to go. And like you said, you alluded to that we, even at this day and age in 2024, we still have some work to do. And that's why events like this are so important. And that's why it's so important for people of all shapes and colors and sizes to come together next weekend as this event takes place on, what is it, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. Yeah. So there's a lot going on, and I really want to make sure. So tell me really quickly, what's happening on Sunday?
On Sunday, we'll have a memorial service at the historic St. James Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
We partnered again with Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity and the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority for that memorial service. That takes place at 3 p.m., I believe. Okay. And then that will lead us into Monday, which is our Dreamkeeper youth organization actually takes the lead early in the morning. They have their youth breakfast on the campus of the University of Arkansas. So they'll have their youth breakfast.
Will there be a march? Will there be a march too?
The march will happen after the breakfast and their youth engagement. The march happens at 11 a.m. on the corner of MLK and Razorback.
Sure.
Then we will proceed to Faulkner Performing Arts Center for the noonday vigil at Faulkner Performing Arts Center. And that's actually hosted by the University of Arkansas and their Association of Student Government. But that's going to be a pretty fantastic event as well.
Will there be a speaker for that event?
Their speaker is Latasha Brown. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but she leads Black Voters Matter. Okay. Who has been critical in the space of engaging Black voters in Georgia. And it's just does phenomenal work across the country in voter education, voter rights across the country. So they've got a phenomenal speaker coming. So the weekend is just really shaping up to be incredible all around.
Yeah, I'm certainly excited about that. So listen, as we wind this up, because I just want people to be reminded there is an event at Crystal Bridges on Friday, and that would be the on Friday the 12th. There's an event. Is that event cost any money?
That event is free, thanks to our great friends at Walmart and Sam's. Have really stepped up to help us. Really believe in bridge building and community building. So they really stepped up to the plate to make that event free, absolutely free. All the food's free, all the entertainment's free. So we're going to have a great time from 6 to 10 at Crystal Bridges, thanks to Walmart and Sam's Club.
Okay. Shout out to those guys for making it happen. And then Saturday night, will that be at the library again, the Fayetteville Public Library?
That's Fayetteville Public Library Event Center. Doors open at 3:30 for a light reception. The event begins at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Okay, great. Well, yeah, we'll put all that information in the show notes and make sure that everybody is aware of that. Direct them to the website if they want to check that information out while they're listening to this.
Yeah, please visit us at nwamlk.org. We actually have a 2024 recommit tab at the very top of the webpage. It lists out all the events that are happening for the weekend. You actually can go out if you're interested in engaging and want to serve in any capacity during the weekend. You can actually go out and fill out the serve form there, and that'll come to us, and we can get you hooked up in the service activity if you so desire. We also have new this year, we created a form where people, if you want to participate in the march this year, organizations, individuals, you're just welcome to come and participate in the march. But if you're an organization and you want to march with us, there's a form there that you can actually participate in the march with us as well. We'd love to have you walk with us in solidarity.
Yeah, I love that. I certainly hope to be participating in this. So I think it's going to be a great event. And I hope to see some of our listeners from the I Am Northwest Arkansas community out and about participating next weekend for Martin Luther King weekend. And I certainly think that there is a lot of ground to be gained by having programs like this in place. And I know sometimes I remember before Martin Luther King's birthday became a holiday, we would have events at school, and my mom, who was a teacher for 35 years, January was a big month for her to talk about that. I remember one year she brought Rosa Parks to my grade school. She brought Rosa Parks there, who obviously knew Dr. King. And it was always an opportunity for reflection. And so next weekend shouldn't be any different, that it is a chance for reflection. It's a chance for inspiration. It's a chance to gain some knowledge. It's a chance to experience understanding, and it should be a safe space for everybody to come and have a wonderful experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're calling it a time to cherish, challenge, and change, because those three are also critical in the embodiment of the beloved community. It's an opportunity to cherish the people around you. The only way you can really start to really cherish people's humanity is you've got to engage with them. It may make you uncomfortable. And the only way to do that, you have to challenge yourself. And then that brings about true change. And that change begins with me. And if I cannot allow myself to go in environments or hear narratives that are counterintuitive or may cause a bit of cognitive dissonance, you've got to understand and become comfortable with that and know that's okay. That people aren't trying to take anything from me. I'm just trying to get something to you, and it's good for us all.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. So I love that. That's good. So I will certainly share all of that to cherish, challenge, and change. Certainly something that we could all aspire to. That should be exciting to experience and be a part of. Any last second advice for anybody that does want to participate in this event next week, Chris?
No, again, just visit our website, nwamlk.org. Visit the serve form. Visit the MLK March webpage if you want to sign up for the march. And just remember, any funds that you do commit to us or are willing to donate to us help to undergird our scholarship endowment so that we can continue to help young students advance their education.
Yeah, and any donation to the NWA MLK organization is a tax-deductible donation. Is that correct?
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
501c3.
Yeah, so just want to put that out there for anybody that's got a blank check. It's just out there in the ether that wants to write a check. Definitely consider doing that and supporting this organization that's doing so much to help so many. And the thing I was impressed about was seeing all those kids last year getting that scholarship. And so that more than anything else really excites me, because it is about the next generation. And if we're not preparing them for the future, whether through education, through inspiration, through encouragement, then we're missing it. And certainly I know the Alpha, the Generation Z, some of these kids are really struggling. And so programs like this can really help them build that momentum that they need to take the next steps in their life to move things forward. So even before they start a career, certainly want to encourage you to get involved and know that the money that you invest in a program like this is going to come back to you in multiple ways, beyond just the goodwill that you feel in helping somebody else out. Because it's always about others, right, Chris? It really is. So I have to be reminded of that. And of course, we're just coming out of the holiday season, but I forget I've heard this story over and over again, but when they asked this man just to whittle his life down to one word, and that one word was others. It's always about others. And certainly, and Dr. King was the embodiment of a selfless sacrifice to the nonviolent movement, Black equality in the United States, and civil rights for everyone. And so certainly want to encourage people to be a part of that movement.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate this. This was a bonus episode of the podcast. We wanted to get it out there. Certainly want to get you guys involved with the Northwest Arkansas MLK Council, with Chris and what Lindsay and the rest of the team are doing from the council. Certainly want to encourage you to be a part of this event and go out there and celebrate Dr. King's birthday all next weekend in so many different ways and in so many different forms. So really want to encourage you to do that. But thanks again, Chris. We really appreciate you joining us today.
You're welcome, brother. Appreciate you always.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There you have it, folks. Another episode of the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast. It is a bonus episode, so we hope you enjoy it. Please share it with a friend. This is one of those episodes that I'd love for you to just share both near and far. And just, it's always nice to be able to use my platform to share out a lot of different messages that are happening in our community. And this isn't the first time. You've heard me work with a lot of different organizations to share their messages out on this platform, because it is about community at the end of the day. So I really want to thank you for supporting what we're doing. 2024 is going to be an amazing year with the podcast. We've got a lot of new things happening. But in the meantime, let's just get ready for Martin Luther King birthday weekend coming up, the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th of January. Certainly want to encourage you to get involved, and I hope to see you out at one of those events. That's all that I have for you today. Remember, the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast comes out. Regular episodes come out every Monday, rain or shine. I'm your host, Randy Wilburn, and we'll see you back here very soon with another new episode of the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast. Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas. Check us out each and every week, available anywhere that great podcasts can be found. For show notes or more information on becoming a guest, visit iamnorthwestarkansas.com. We'll see you next week on I Am Northwest Arkansas.